What is going on, guys? Shadow870 here, and I'm bringing you guys another CoD Class breakdown video. And today I wanted to take a look at the assault rifles. And this assault rifle class is very different than most other classes, or at least it kind of feels different. It feels like there's more of an emphasis around, I guess you could say, like select fire weapons, like semi-automatics such as the FAL or the M8A1 or guns like that, and I feel like there's a very, very high emphasis around those guns. Those guns are very strong, stronger than they have been in other Call of Duties, but on this list, they're not really the highest rated guns. In my opinion, they're good for what they do, but there are other guns that are way better. So I'm going to start off with the one that's my least favorite, and we're going to go all the way up to my most favorite on this list, and we're going to start off with the SMR. The SMR is a single-fire, semi-automatic weapon, shoots one bullet at a time, just like the FAL. But the only difference between the SMR and the FAL is that the FAL does its job better than the SMR. When I look at single-fire weapons, I say, all right, well, they're useful in medium to long ranges, or they can be. That's not the SMR. The SMR is extremely useful in close ranges, and that's where it gets its biggest pride. And it doesn't fit the description of a single fire weapon. It has too much recoil. You're kind of limited when you use the SMR. While it has very, very, very high bullet damage, it's very limited. Its recoil is kind of off the charts. You're not going to be able to get the longest ranged kills ever, and it kind of takes a little bit of extra effort to take out people with the SMR, and that's my biggest issue. I'm going to give the SMR a 6.5 out of 10. So let's move on to the next gun. Now this is a big step in terms of rating. The next gun is the M8A1, and the M8A1 is basically the complete opposite of the SMR. The M8A1 shoots 4 bullets. It's a burst weapon. It's the only weapon in COD ever that's shot 4 bullets, and it's very accurate and very good at long ranges. And it's quite an impressive gun. The only issue with the M8A1 is I haven't used it enough to know that much about it, but from what I've seen from it, although it gives you a whole lot of accuracy, it takes away a whole lot of close range ability and hip fire ability, and that's the biggest. That's a decent sized issue with the M8A1. You're not able to shoot and kill people at closer ranges as easy as you would with, let's say, the SMR, and it's kind of limited there. But in my opinion, I think that long range and medium range combat is more valued in Call of Duty than close range is. Even on these smaller maps, I think it's more valued, and that's why I give the M8A1 a rating of 7.5. Now, the next gun is very good, and this is where we start getting into the really, really, really good guns, or the decent guns, I guess you could say, the guns that you want to use. While the other two have been are decent, they're not as decent as these next few. The next gun is the SWAT 5.56. This gun, something about it's very balanced, but it's not as balanced as you would want it to. It's a regular 3-round burst weapon, and it's overall pretty balanced. It does a decent amount of damage. I think it can kill somewhere from 1 to 2 bursts if you hit all your bullets. It probably can kill in 1 burst if you hit every single bullet in a high area on the opponent's body, but it's a very high damage weapon, but it has enough accuracy to take opponents out at long ranges. While it may not have the best accuracy to take opponents out at long ranges, it has a decent amount, and that's really the most extremely useful thing on this gun. On the SWAT, it's overall very balanced, but it gets a little off at longer ranges. It's not as versatile as you would want a semi-automatic weapon to be. So that's where I give it the nod, and I give the SWAT a 5 or an 8.5 out of 10. Now the next weapon is very special, and it's very special to this entire game because it's a weapon that has been really focused on, and a lot of people have called it OP, and this may be a surprise on the list to a lot of people, but I'm going to say that the next weapon is the FAL. Now a lot of people are like, what the fuck, Shadow? The FAL is like the best assault rifle in the game. Well, that's wrong. While with select fire on, it's really good close range, and with any other attachment, you can throw the ACOG on it, you can throw the EOTech. It's very good long range, and it's very useful in those ranges. it's still a single fire weapon, and it all depends on your trigger finger. I know people who have the fastest trigger finger known in history. I know people who can shoot that thing like an automatic and faster than like even the Scorpion. But I also know people who have the worst trigger finger I've ever seen in my life, and they're just like all over the place, and they just can't do it. So it's a really dependent weapon, but it's very strong and kills in a whole lot of bullets. And overall, it's a very solid weapon, and I love using it. I use it for long-range situations because it's the best long-range semi-automatic assault rifle in the game. Other than, of course, my top gun on this list, which you guys will know in a little bit. Actually, no, that gun's not semi-automatic. It's the best semi-automatic long-range, and I'm going to give it a rate of 8.9. So, close to a 9, but not quite there. Oh well. Now, the next gun is a gun that was kind of hard for me to put on this list right here, because this is a gun that I really wanted to put higher. And I love this. I've loved this gun for a long time, but I just can't do it. I can't put this gun any higher than it is, and that's the Scar H. And I'm putting the Scar H here purely for the fact of recoil. While it's a very, very, very strong gun, and I love using the Scar is one of my favorite guns in this game. I love using this gun. You know, this gun is very decent, and I love using it, and that's the reason that I enjoy having this gun on my classes. And unfortunately, I had to put it this low because the other guns ahead of it are just better. But this gun is still an amazing gun, and I would recommend it to anybody who uses it. It has an huge amount of recoil, and that's the unfortunate part, and that's the reason I'm putting it this low, that's the reason I'm putting it back this far. It's around the middle, but I wish I could put it higher. It has an overused amount of recoil, but this thing can kill in 2 to 3 bullets, so it's a killer, but you have to fight the recoil while using it, and that's the biggest issue. I'm going to give it a rate of 9.1 out of 10, so very solid. As you guys know, when we get into the 9s, these are guns that are really good, but the higher the 9, the better. Now, the next gun is not too far from the Scar, and it's not too different from the Scar, and that's the Type 25, and that's the Type 25. The Type 25 is very interesting because it's very similar to the Scar in terms of how you use it. It's the gun I'm using right now. It's very similar, but it's a little different. The Scar and the Type 25 both rely on damage. They both rely on the ability to kill fast, and they both have a decent amount of recoil. But the biggest issue is that the Scar's bullet damage kills quickly. The Type 25's fire rate kills quickly. That's the only difference. These guns kill just as quickly as each other. The Scar can kill quickly. The Type can kill quickly. So they kill just as fast with each other. So they're very similar, and the Type 25 is a really good gun. And one of my favorite things about the Type 25 is that speed boost it got. And it's a whole lot faster now. I love using this gun when I'm trying to play really aggressive and really in the objective and really all over my opponent's faces because it's so fast. I love the speed boost that they gave it, and it's really awesome. I'm going to give the Type 25 a 9.2 out of 10. Just above the Scar, I think the Type 25 is a little bit better with its accuracy than the Scar is, unfortunately, but it's just how it goes. Now we get to the Elite 3, and these are not the Elite 3 by far measures. These are just the Elite 3 that I think are the top assault rifles in the game. Now, by now you guys have managed to narrow it down to these 3 guns, but which one comes in which order? Well, I give you number 3, and that's the TAR. The TAR, very solid gun. Probably the most balanced assault rifle I have seen in this game. This is the most balanced assault rifle in the whole entire game, and it's just simply... It's overall very, very decent and a very solid gun to use. It may not be the sexiest gun to use, but it's a very, very solid gun, and I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Now, the next gun is the AN-94, and it's very similar to the Scar, but it has a little bit less recoil, and it just kills in a lot of bullets. Overall, very, very powerful gun and very strong. Don't underestimate that gun. I'm going to give it a 9.7 out of 10. And finally, the M27. The M27 is the best assault rifle in this game, one of the best assault rifles in Call of Duty history. It is an amazing assault rifle. It kills close range, it kills long range, it kills medium range. This thing kills. This thing is amazing. If I want to do well, I pick this gun up. I pick the M27 up, and I rape shit with this gun, with that gun. It's simply just an amazing gun. I can't say enough about it. It's the ACR of Modern Warfare 3, or it's the ACR of Black Ops 2, but it's just not as rated as high, and not a lot of people are paying attention to it, which I don't understand why. But the M27 is just simply an amazing gun. I mean, I'm shocked they put this good of a gun into Call of Duty. There's not much I can say. It's just an awesome gun, and you know, it kills. There's nothing wrong with it, you know, and that's why it's my go-to gun. That's why I think it's the best assault rifle, and that's why I'm gonna give it a perfect score of 10 out of 10. And I'm not gonna do that a whole lot, but I do give it a perfect score of 10 out of 10. It is an amazing gun, and I can't say enough about it. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed, comment on what you thought of it, and subscribe if you want to see more. Later.